Hey everybody, Ozark Gilman here. I want to talk really quick today about, as you can see, the ABC News story. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says diversity efforts are illegal. State agencies should stop. So, in other words, exactly like DeSantis in Florida, which again, these Republicans are useless because they don't even really say exactly who the so-called CRT or the woke or whatever is uh, directed against. And then by not doing that, then again, the media can clap right back at them and claim white supremacy. They got rid of African American studies. Well, actually, they reported more facts about it, but historic facts won't exactly paint things. All of them won't paint things in the anti-white framework, anti-European framework that the left wants. Therefore, they're going to call it being against every other group for stopping it from being specifically anti-white. So again, and even then, it's just lip service. They're not really doing anything because, as Greg Abbott says right here, the efforts are illegal. And then scroll down, the official statement that was issued. Go ahead and stop that right there. That was issued from his office, of course, said that it's literally illegal to hire people based on race and other than anything other than merit and qualification. Thing is, I mean, that's what they've been doing, and then it's disproportionately they claim white and male to the population based on our own statistical accomplishments. And like I've said before, anything they deem any statistical accomplishment by us is going to be deemed white privilege and then must be done away with. Equity itself is specifically anti-white because other, like for instance, non-white groups, if they are successful in certain metrics, non-European groups, if they, I don't know, say made up 40% of the billionaires and vastly own the vast majority of entertainment and media and Hollywood. I mean, well, hypothetically or something like that, then saying that that group being overly successful, especially with a very strong M group preference, especially targeting, especially when they constantly fund things, all these multi-billion-dollar efforts against your people and against your countries, and let's say even hypothetically that they funded the efforts that are bringing the illegal caravans across the border right now, displacing us in our own homelands. And again, just like Greg Abbott here, this is just about equality, not equity. And yet, again, Texas, white Texans are now a minority in their own state. They're not even the biggest demographic in their own state, by the way. After Hurricane Katrina, the demographics changed. A lot more black residents filled up the major cities in Texas. After the success, they had a lot of Californians move there, various backgrounds. They had, but especially with the illegal migration, you got over 5 million illegals over the border, which again, whether they're illegal or not, in the long run, doesn't even matter. It's about the entire point, as Biden said, he wants to get rid of our demographic and numerically displace us. And over 5 million of them, the vast majority through Texas. And I mean, really, the state government of Texas isn't even really doing the job addressing it. They're not specifically pointing out, even in this effort, they're not saying that it's specifically anti-white, what they call diversity, equity, inclusion. Diversity always means less white. We're two-thirds of the population. We're only about 25% of the workforce when you actually break down by white and male, and all the intersectionality and the roots of intersectionality, cultural Marxism, everything that's implemented now on a mass scale through the ESG score, through various means. And that's the thing. There are numerous and various means, from tax breaks to tax cuts to in big city contracts. If you're registered as minority and or female-owned business, in other words, everybody but white and male. So if you can actually underbid the white male and then still get the contract, which forces the white male to bid even lower, and it really eventually loses business. I've had family that this happened to, and never financially recovered from it, no matter what they did. Again, because when your area is overrun and then you are legally, done against to get work, you're never going to be able to recover. What are you going to do? Leave your roots. Your local property values have been totally decimated, areas destroyed, high crime. So you lose everything you've ever invested in your community that your ancestors actually built. Nobody talks about the actual anti-white effects of this, including Greg Abbott. To our own leaders and our own demographic won't say when something is specifically directed against us. That's the problem here. And then again, they're against diversity. They're against, well, if it has a negative effect on you, Are you going to speak positively about it? If it has a negative effect on your people, are you not going to speak up against that? We're being forced into a position where the whole "I don't see color" thing is completely irrelevant. If you wanted that fantasy, you should have shut down the border a long time ago. If you want to keep living in that fantasy, we would have to live in a predominantly pretty homogenous society in order to go in the "I don't see color" fantasy, right? That's impossible. When you're pushed in a corner and everything is done specifically against your people by people who say that they openly hate your people, then you really don't have much other choice except to speak up for your people. The thing is, why stop being a coward when it comes to speaking up for your people? You know, especially when you're the founding people of the nation, and this is happening on your own border, and even the politicians who barely speak out against it about what's happening. Where 25%, the cross-referencing 20 white males are 25% of the workforce, if that, maybe even less now. Trying to provide for 2/3, the primary breadwinners trying to provide for 2/3 of the population when it comes to our households, our elderly, everyone we're trying to care for. And again, then 1 out of 6 hiring managers admitted, those are just the ones who admitted, they were specifically told by people above them, quote unquote people above them, to not hire any more white males, period. Full stop. And probably a whole lot more that aren't even admitting it for fear of lawsuits. And again, they won't even address what the root of the problem is, so the ABC can clap back at them and say, "Oh, you're against diversity." Well, yeah, especially if it has a negative effect on us and our people. You better start saying that, and you better start saying it openly. This is Ozark Gilman. You'll have a good one.